Hello everybody, this is Christina Schmitz from Shaping E-Commerce Today, and I'm sitting here with Brian Lilly, the CIO of Equinix.
Hi Christina.
We would like to talk about the company Equinix today and other trends that might shape e-commerce today and in the future.
Okay.
So, Mr. Lilly, could you explain to us what Equinix products and services and how they create opportunities for new and existing customers?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Equinix is a network-neutral global colocation provider. It's a lot of words, but what does that mean? That means that we're in all three regions, or the three major business regions around the world, Asia, Europe, and the US. And we provide services to clients who are running traditional brick and mortar, who are looking to put their servers into a facility that is very highly reliable with a set of network choices that are, they're not held to just one or two choices, we're network neutral. And brick and mortar, but also even some of these e-commerce platforms, whether that's Apple or Limelight or Akamai or you name it, we probably host it, and in many ways we're the home of the clouds. It's where they're putting their services with us and close to the networks which really reach the eyeballs of the people they're trying to reach.
So when talking about Equinix and its customers, did you see or did you notice a trend when looking at customers that you have now compared to 10 years ago?
Well, I think that the economy has shifted, and it shifted from this sort of traditional storefront, physical storefront, again the brick and mortar storefront, to more of a digital storefront and really a digital economy. And our previous tagline in the years ago was the heartbeat of the internet, because we are one of the key secret sauce of Equinix, besides highly reliable and globally dispersed data centers, is we're the peering point for all these internetworks. So if you're Sprint and AT&T or British Telecom or whatever, NTT, instead of doing point-to-point connections to all those networks, that's a lot of cost, they say, you know what, we'll meet you at Equinix. So we'll have our network have a presence there, you put your network and have a presence there, and we'll just interconnect. It's called peering. We'll just peer our networks together. I won't charge you for the traffic you pass me, and you don't charge me. We're just going to pass traffic. And that has allowed the internet to scale around the world. And so the customers that we see changing, besides sort of the brick and mortar to the digital economy, are people that say, you know what, I want to be where those networks are, because I'm serving up content. If I'm YouTube, I want to cache content close to as many networks as I can. So if I put my most recently viewed videos close to those networks, and then I connect to as many networks as I can afford and eyeballs I want to reach, that's the way they can scale their content all around the world. So yes, the customers have changed, and they're heading more and more and more to cloud-based, services-based offerings where the internet is everything for those businesses.
That's very interesting. I actually seen a different interview where you said that Equinix wants to be known as the home of the clouds.
Yep.
Could you explain to us what cloud computing is and how it affects e-commerce?
Sure. So if I, there's standard definitions of cloud computing on, Wikipedia has a good one there, and they all pretty much say the same thing. They all say 5 things. It's services based. So it's a service that abstracts from the consumer the underworkings of the service. So it's just like when you do internet banking. You log into an application from home, from the internet, and you get access to all your accounts, and it's an application that you get to use. That's a cloud-based app, because you have no idea what server it's running on. You don't know where the server is. You don't care. It's a services-based. Now there's 4 other things. One is it's metered. So typically, if you're wanting to, for example, buy compute cycles, if you buy 10 compute cycles, the price is X. If you buy 1,000, it may be 10X. So it's metered based on use. So they track who's using it, how much they're using it, and they charge you for it.
Okay.
Another attribute is it's shared. A true cloud service means I'm not building, like in the old ASP models, I'm not building one application and managing it for that customer, and then I build another application and managing it for that customer. I'm building a platform and I'm sharing that across multiple. That's important for e-commerce because as e-commerce scales, when you think about the big e-commerce platforms, eBay, for example, as they scale, if they had to build a new server farm for every new customer, they would never make any money, right? They build a platform and then they start adding customers, and that allows revenue to scale this way, while your cost to run your infrastructure, still costs, but it doesn't scale nearly at the same level. It's clearly based on internet technologies. That's important for cloud services. You can just reach it from HTTP or HTTPS. And so those are the definitions of cloud computing, and it has tremendous ramifications on e-commerce. It enables e-commerce in a lot of ways.
Oh, so do you think if I have an e-commerce business and I want to leverage the cloud to start up cost effectively and globally, how can I do that?
So we have examples of this all the time. And in fact, when you ask us about being the home of the clouds and the shift in customers from 10 years ago to today, you just hit it on the head. If I'm starting a company, like you said, you're going to start a company, and you have a product that you want to sell, and that product is configurable. You can pick the colors of it or the size of it or whatever, and you want to make that choice available on a web application, for example. Like let's say you're selling iPod cases, and you want them to configure the color and the shape, and do they have diamonds on it or da-da-da-da, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a global product. iPods are everywhere. So you could use Equinix, for example, and say, you know what, I want 2 racks from you, computer equipment racks, inside Singapore, inside London, and inside the New York metros, and we can sell you that. And then you can say, I'm going to build my applications and host them on computers I run in those facilities. Perfect. That's one option. But another option says, you know what, I'm the founder of the application and the marketing of the application and then the shipment of the product and all that. So I really just want somebody else to worry about the hardware, somebody else to worry about storage, somebody else to worry about compute, virtual machines, VMs, that I just want a place to run my application. And then I want it to come back, I want the results to come back to me. We have partners that live within our facilities that offer that as a service. So now if you want to just take an application and you just want to put it on a VM, a virtual machine somewhere in some data center, we have customers who actually do that as a business. Everybody from IBM does that. They'll host that for you in our facilities. To GoGrid, which is a local startup that does cloud computing platform as a service offerings to small businesses. Because then they don't have the capital outlays. And they can go global literally overnight. We have a client that just started. They were in stealth mode, meaning that they were undercover, hadn't announced, etc. They were a Sand Hill Road company, venture funded. And overnight, they were in 3 regions. And they put up their sign for business, and they're live. Their sites were live in 3 regions. And they're selling a network service, network as a service, and they're doing it based on cloud computing in our facilities. So it's real. It's not sort of futuristic.
So being a company that is dependent on the internet and seeing that the world is getting dependent on the internet, do you see any limitations now or in the future? Or do you think that the internet is going to change significantly?
No, I think that most of the problems of the internet, the scaling problems, many of those have been solved. I think very smart people and companies, many of whom are our customers, have really thought through the scaling, and you have the Ciscos and the Junipers and these folks that are building routers that are capable of pushing amazing amounts of data. And with the concept of peering, that has enabled it to scale. So I think that as we reach into developing countries and further extend the reach of the internet, I think that's going to flesh out the edge nodes, and we have to continue to reach into, in my opinion, universal access to the internet. It is the great playing field leveler, right? It gives the child in India or rural China access to the world's information. And so to me, I think it needs to be universal access, just like the old telecom policies in the U.S. But where I think that there's significant change coming is in the mobile internet.
Okay.
The mobile internet is if you see the curves in terms of growth, the growth of the internet is pretty extraordinary, but the growth of mobile is even steeper. So you see these waves, if you think about them as waves, here was the sort of wired internet, and then right behind it you have this steeper curve of the mobile internet. And I think that there's going to be significant change in the mobile carriers have to solve this problem, and they haven't solved it yet, where they have to solve the problems of the early internet. They have to figure out if, for example, if you have a mobile network with these cell towers, how do you get the connection points from that mobile network to the internet and back out efficiently and fast, and which is why sometimes your performance on your iPhone is a little less than you want it to be, there's some serious network re-architecture that has to happen to make the mobile network truly perform the way people are demanding it to. So that's where I see the big change coming.
That was really interesting, and I appreciate you having time to do this. If you want more information on the topics discussed today, please go on shapeecommerce.blogspot.com. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, Christina.
Thank you, Brian.